This video is for one of my customers. They're renting a noggin system with 2 antennas with the intention to do bathymetry with it. So, a couple of notes on setup. The first is each time you switch this connector between the 2 antennas, the DVL will reset to its default parameters. It's a little bit annoying, but it means you have to go in and you need to set up your parameters properly after switching the antennas. First thing you need to note is it will always switch back to the internal GPS when it resets to defaults. We want to make sure we're set to external. And 19200, I recommend doing the GPS test. GPS is pre-configured. You should see the strings coming in like that, and you should see good GPS data. That's not bad, even considering it's inside my workshop with the wooden roof. GPS you can mount anywhere in the boat, but optimally try to mount it above the antenna somewhere. You'll probably have to build a little rig for that. I don't know what your boat is like. Going back to the settings here, after the test is successful, you may also want to test your GPR sensor. Just make sure everything's hooked up correctly. It says tilt it backwards, but if you're in the boat or whatever, just test it as is. I'm just going to test it as is on my workbench here. This takes a little bit of time. For the 100, this will take almost a minute, and for the 250, it's a bit quicker. With apologies for the boring part of this video. A couple other notes on the system. We're shipping with 5 meters of serial cable and 5 meters of noggin cable. This is so that this console can be where the driver is or wherever else in the boat. You'll also have 1 battery that needs to be with the console, spare battery, 2 chargers, so that you have redundancy. GPS battery should last all day unless it's -40, but you're not going to be at a boat -40, so that's fine anyway. I took the skid plates off of this one to make it a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to mount into the boat. If you're going to be pulling it on the ground for a little bit, just be careful with it for testing purposes. The screen shuts itself off automatically after some time as a screen power saving measure. Just pushing any button on the screen will wake it back up. I'm getting a mixture of new and used equipment because the noggin is so modular in our rental pool here. The different pieces come from different vintages. Test passed, so this is excellent. We're actually going to go to system configuration. We're going to change it to something that's suitable for use on a boat. So for starters, the default is Smart Cart. We don't want that. Okay. Velocity. You're going to be in water, so you want to choose the lowest velocity. For trigger, we don't have an odometer attached on boats. That doesn't make sense. So we're going to change it to free run, and then set the trace interval to continuous. You see how it's set to stacks here at 6500. There are a couple other options here. On the 100, because it's the Ultra, you can actually set the stacks really quite high. And if you're happy with like 20 centimeters between stacks or something like that, you can sort of balance your depth, your stacks, and its anticipated best travel speed. So if you're planning to do 5 kilometers an hour in a boat, you might want to use a 50 centimeter trace size and 4,000 stacks. That'll give you something suitable for your speed. And then when you're all done here, hit exit. Now we're in free run mode. So we're actually going to test this. Make sure it says external and then DGPS. We're going to use no save mode here, but we could just hit start if we want to save a line. Our workbench isn't that interesting as a test site, so we're just going to not save it. Data is coming in. If we go to the antenna and manipulate it a little bit, you can actually see the changes in the data here. Turn the filter on. Make the filter stronger, maybe make the gain less. Maybe that will magnify. Yeah. Bench test complete. If you change the zoom here from the position number here and we make this much larger, it won't go by your screen as fast, so you won't miss it. Okay. Yeah, this is new. Battery display on screen while it's running. That's must be the new firmware upgrade. Great. Pause. Exit. I'm going to shut it down and make sure these batteries are charged to go out to the client.